Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of vRealize This Live. Thomas, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm happy to be here again.
Good. Me too. Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for jumping on this morning as well. So today we're going to be covering cloud cost management with CloudHealth. And I don't know, Thomas, I don't know if you've been kind of paying attention to the markets, but what does it cost to buy a cloud these days?
15 cloud units. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a black box for a lot of folks, right? I mean it can be really difficult to understand not only what I need to move, which we kind of talked about in prior podcasts, but also when I get there, how do I control my costs? It's pretty. There's a little bit of dark arts there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot to keep track of, a lot to manage, especially, as we're looking at things at a monthly level, right? And we're looking at what is our actual usage. So what do we need? We want to make sure we're buying, exactly what we need and not paying too much. So definitely a big ask, right? But we've got help. We've got CloudHealth and we've got Shri this morning. Shri Upadhyay, how are you, sir?
Hi, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you?
Doing good. Now, you are based on the West Coast?
Yeah, it's Palo Alto. It's 8 a.m. here.
Wow. Well, thanks for getting up early with us.
No
So,
worries.
the topic today obviously is CloudHealth. So if you have any questions relevant to, today's topic, the live chat is open. So go ahead, post your questions in there. We'll try to get those addressed for you while we've got, our expert here on the line. But Shri, I guess, we'll kind of turn things over to you and, talk about CloudHealth. I mean, there's a lot to CloudHealth, right? There's, the multi-cloud, there's also secure state, right? There's a lot to it. So I think you're going to help us try to, make sense of it all, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time, right? We are going through this transformation phase where customers are trying to figure out, what is the right model for them. And maybe in most scenarios, it's both, right? Having a private data center, private cloud environment, and also having some of their apps running in public cloud environments.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, I don't know if you want, we can jump right into the demonstration here, take a look at things and kind of go from there. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that. So yeah, this is the CloudHealth dashboard. And before I get into that, I want to give a quick intro of what CloudHealth is for those of you who may not have heard of CloudHealth before. CloudHealth is one of the most trusted cloud management platforms out there, right? We focus on managing public cloud environments like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, as well as Oracle Cloud. We have more than 11,000 customers spanning across all of these cloud environments and who are using to manage their public cloud environments today. And if you have seen recently, CloudHealth as well as vRealize, both were rated as leaders in public cloud as well as hybrid cloud management. So that's where we have, all of these aspects coming in, right? And like Thomas pointed out, where he was talking about cloud units, I wish we had that kind of an aspect, right? We had, a way to just say, I want to buy 10 cloud units, but that's pretty hard to do, right? So that's where, a tool like CloudHealth comes into the picture, right? CloudHealth focuses on helping you manage your cost, right? Simplify your financial management, streamline your operations, and secure your public cloud environments. I think to Thomas's point, there is a notion. I think we were just talking about this before the call. Hey, if you move to public cloud, it's going to be cheaper. That's not true, right? While yes, there's a storage for $0.01 a gig, but it can get out of control very soon. So how do you get that into controls? And we have all of these principles from our private cloud environments. The principles have not changed, right? We wanted to, have accountability for who is using these servers, who is using these VMs, right? Even when we were on private cloud, we wanted to not have over-provisioned VMs, right? Someone is just spinning with a 32 gig RAM when they actually need 4 gigs, right? You have the exact same problems even on the public cloud side. And then you have security and compliance, which doesn't go away just because you move to public cloud, right? And the notion that you move to public cloud and the cloud provider takes care of all the security and compliance is totally wrong, right? And Matt and Thomas, you probably know cloud providers like to use this model called as shared responsibility, where they say, hey, we are responsible for the infra because we own that piece, and you're responsible for everything that is running on top of that. And I think that's where there's always confusions about what needs to be done. So we at CloudHealth took that very seriously, and we offer those capabilities, those monitoring capabilities within CloudHealth. And if someone likes to go a level deeper, we offer another SaaS product called as CloudHealth Secure State. So that primarily focuses heavily towards monitoring in real time your cloud security configuration management. I hope that gives a high-level overview of what our products do.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I mean, I'd love to cover secure state. Maybe we can do that for a future topic as well, because that's a really, really cool product. So, so here we are at the CloudHealth dashboard, and what are we looking at here? We're looking at AWS.
Yeah. So if you see here at the top, you can see AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, as well as your data center costs if you want to integrate with your existing vSphere environments. And what I'm showing you is the AWS dashboard, right? The idea behind CloudHealth, you'll see in your user experience that we want to get you the information that helps you make decision as quickly as possible, right? So over here, you're seeing within my environment today, we have almost $3 million of spend, which is current spend. You can also see last month's spend and the projected spend for this month. So that kind of gives you an idea at high level whether how on track we are with all of these resources. Next, you can see a simple chart that shows you cost history for last 13 months, right? And this cost history is across different resources like S3. You can see here EC2 compute at like 860,000 spent in May of 2020. And you can keep looking at all of the different services, and you can easily filter out based on what you need. And I'll touch upon this in a bit. Similarly, you have other high-level information like EC2 usage, instance usage by reservation type. Reservation type is another concept in public cloud environments where you you commit to buying a particular amount of resources, like EC2 instances, for example, right? And for that, you can use different payment models, right? There is on-demand, which means you just put in your credit card and you'll be billed based on the usage. There is all upfront, where you make all the upfront payment for the resource for either 1 year or 3 year commitment. And that gets you a very big discount, almost up to 66% in most cases. And there is partial upfront and no upfront. Kind of the name indicates what they do. Similarly, other resources like RDS, S3, how you have been using most of the popular services that customers often use. And one cool thing is you can actually customize and build your own dashboard. You can just click new, and then you can drop and build your widgets, right? So I can say, hey, I want to drag and add a chart here. Let's say an amortization chart, and I just click on add, and it adds it, right? Or I can add racks, which just give high-level information of what is happening. And the idea behind this was to cater these dashboards to specific personas, right? Within CloudHealth, we target various personas. This tool is meant to be used by DevOps, by financial ops personas, security ops, by infrastructure ops, as well as folks who are at exec level who want to get a high-level overview. And the idea is, you can set these dashboards either public or private. Private means it is just visible to that particular user. And you can mark that as default. So whenever you log in, you'll just see that dashboard.
Okay.
So that's basically the idea of dashboard. Does that make, any questions on that?
Yeah, that definitely does make sense. And I like the visual representation here of all of the services. Now, going back down to, with the upfront costs and your on-demand costs, right? Obviously, the goal here is you're getting that big discount by paying upfront. However, as you can see, in the chart here, there is definitely some, no upfront and some on-demand charges. So obviously, we want to try to reduce, how much we're spending over there. So what can we do to kind of, we could visualize it here with CloudHealth, but how can we try to minimize that?
That's a very good question. Yeah. So in case of AWS, let me handle it by Cloud Pro. In case of AWS, they offer something called as reserved instances and savings plan, right? Savings plan is a new discounting mechanism from AWS that allows you to purchase 1 year or 3 year upfront across, no upfront, partial, or all upfront. And within CloudHealth, what we did was, as soon as AWS announced that, we had this feature that helps you manage and understand what kind of plan you should be buying, right? So if you just look here, there are almost 6 combinations of options that you can choose and fine tune from, right? You can see here it says 1 year no upfront on the top left. And at the bottom right, you can see it says 3 year all upfront. And the idea here is to quickly give you a glance into how much you need to budget for and what discounts you would get if you were to go and choose. And the way CloudHealth does is it actually looks at all of your current infrastructure usage and then makes these recommendations, right? So on the top left, if you just look at 1 year no upfront, we'll say it says lowest hourly commitment. So that's the amount that you need to commit for compute usage within AWS across all the regions. That's the beauty about savings plan, right? With RIs, previously you had to first pick the region or sometimes availability zones and where you want to buy. But with savings plan, AWS has made it way easier. You can just say, I just want to buy this savings plan, and irrespective of the instance size, instance type, and the region, this discount will be applied to you. So over here, we see that it's $115. And if you do that hourly commitment, obviously there's total no upfront cost. So you just buy the savings plan and then pay with your term. And the effective discount will be 11.6%. So you would get that. And if you buy the year no upfront, you will save almost $132,000 in our case, right? Based on our resource usage. And if I look at 3 year all upfront, you will see that the lifetime savings here at the bottom is almost $2.3 million, right? Which is quite substantial. So that's why it is important for customers to do some kind of resource planning where they understand what their usage is and what plans they need to buy, right? And obviously, I would wish that I can go directly and have 2.3 million of savings, but that would cost me $5.2 million in upfront payments.
Right.
And we do have budgets, right? I'm from a TME background. I wish I had like unlimited budget to buy all my gear and set up my environment, but
don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that doesn't happen. So we have an option where you can specify the hourly commitment, right? I can come in and I can say, hey, I just have $50 an hour worth of commitment. That's the budget I can actually afford. So you can click on refresh recommendations, and now CloudHealth gives you fine-tuned data into what plans you can buy, right? So you don't actually have to go, scrabble through a lot of AWS documentation, look at, what the pricing would be, and fine-tune a lot of parameters. So it's very simple. Just specify hourly commitment, $50, and we have all the info. So if you were to just, again, compare 1 year no upfront and 3 year, you'll see, obviously, the hourly commitment is now blocked at $50. But my effective discount is 17.2, and I'll save 91,000. It's less than what we had before, but my budget is also comparatively less right now. And in the 3 year all upfront, now I just need to spend 1.3 million versus 5 million earlier. I'll get a lifetime saving of $1.1 million, which is over 3 year time period. Again, very substantial. And for again, customers who want to get,
I was going to say, again, this is using your live data, right? This is looking at the services you have out in AWS today.
Yes, this is all using live data. Yeah. Yeah. This is not mock data. Yep. And if you want to understand what exactly, how exactly this impacts your budget, you can look at further details, right? The current global discount is 44, which goes to 45%, and the coverage also increases on my resources from 89 to 91%. So you can see here it says estimated monthly savings of almost $30,000, right? Which is very substantial. And not just that, you can look at the graph and see how CloudHealth is going to apply this savings plan. So all the spikes that you see here, this is the on-demand usage we have within our account. So this is just developers coming and saying, hey, I want an instance. I just want to deploy my app and test it and then delete it. And the orange dotted line way here at the bottom, because we had just $50 as the budget, indicates, where we are. And the dark blue line just above that indicates how much of coverage you're getting. So just by paying $50, you get almost $150 worth of coverage here. So that's why I mentioned earlier, right? You can get up to 66% savings if you were to go with this. And obviously, you can apply across any family type. Also, Lambda functions. So if you're using Lambda or Fargate, you can apply savings plans to them as well. And across different regions. I have in US East 1, as well as Asia Pacific and other regions. So that's the power of CloudHealth platform. And finally, if you decide, hey, I want to buy this particular plan, you can buy that right from within CloudHealth platform. So you don't have to go to AWS dashboard to actually make this purchase.
Wow. That one button right there, that's really cool. That's really powerful. So, I mean, this is like right out of the box, you've connected it to AWS and immediately you're, I mean, even with your $50, minimum commitment there, right? You're still saving $91,000 just by leveraging these savings plans, and CloudHealth has just broken this all down and in terms that even I can understand. This is really cool.
Yeah. And the idea is just to make it easier for customers to quickly grasp and understand, right? I don't want to spend a ton of time understanding. And if you want to present this to your boss, to your execs, this is very easy, right? You can easily export out all of this report, put this in a PowerPoint and tell them, hey, we are if you have this much budget, these are the plans we have, and this is how much we will save. And that helps even execs make decision quickly, right? And say, hey, let's go and buy this particular plan.
Yeah, I mean, it really seems like it's demystifying a lot of it, right? It takes that black box idea and gives you the data you need to see to be able to present it. But then it has the meat of all of the things in there. Like, these are the things where we're going to save money, because the CEO or the the director is going to care about that big number. Somebody cares about what the more detail is, and like that graph of being able to show all of the costs over the months. I mean, that's got to be really powerful with customers.
Oh yeah, totally. And within CloudHealth, right, we store data for almost 13 months. So you can go back all the way and look at what you did in last year, January, and then make a decision as to what you want to do right now and how your trends are with respect to services. And I think we saw that especially rapidly increase during last year when we went into lockdowns, because customers were very serious about saving cost where it was unnecessary, right? So directly jump into it and look at what you can do, how you can save, and if you want to do these kind of commitments, right? Obviously, there are uncertain times whether customers want to actually make a 3-year commitment. Maybe they just decided, hey, right now, given the scenario, I'll probably go with 1 year no upfront and 1 year partial upfront, and probably move to other models as we get back to normalcy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the most surprising thing to me, and it's kind of quite shocking, right, is like even just going to a 1 year no upfront and putting in $50 still saves you $90,000.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's what
thought, like, for $50 I can save like $90,000. That's crazy.
Yeah,
right.
So,
You're almost printing money at that point.
So that's what most of the customers usually struggle with, right? The idea here is you have $50 hourly commitment, you save $90,000. If you're just doing simple lift and shift, you are not actually modifying or working towards having a cloud native app, right? So if you have decided to make the move, you should actually look at leveraging all the capabilities that cloud providers provide you and make benefit of that, right? Here we are talking about the financial aspects, but I'll show you in a bit on the security and operational aspects as well.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
So let me just quickly show you. Let's say you have your CFO or CIO who just wants to see what is happening across their AWS environments. We have something called as pulse reports, right? And within that, we have a health check report, which is a 360-degree view of what's happening and quickly summarizes what you need to focus on. So as soon as you see this page, I always first see possible optimizations for this particular month, March. We can save to $450,000, and that is for just this month, right? We are not talking about over the year. That is just this month. And we can get that by looking at various pillars, right? Towards my left, you will see immediate monthly savings. And it says you have 116 unused EBS volumes. If I delete that, I'm going to save almost $1,000. Sounds very minimal, but if you have a smaller footprint environment, that could add up and become substantial. And I have done this personally on AWS, where I go spin up instances. I think I've deleted the instance, but I forget to delete the volumes themselves. So that's one of the areas where we focus on. It's not just volumes. If you have bought like elastic IPs, which we know if it's attached, it's cheaper. If you don't attach it, it can get very expensive very soon. And on the right side, we have cloud governance. So one of the things which cloud providers always talk about is tagging your instances, right? Tagging your resources. And that's because that helps you group assets and helps you understand which particular group is using or team is using a particular app or a resource. And also helps you in terms of all the governance aspects. So here we quickly identify the resources that you have that might be untagged. If I scroll down, you'll see on the left, there's operational monthly. And this is similar to what we do on-prem, right? There are instances which are severely underutilized. Meaning someone went in and said, I want this instance which is like super extra large, whereas I actually needed something which is medium or maybe small. So again, right now, if you were to look at a cloud provider, you can save $31,000 with that recommendation. And finally, the security pillar, right? Where in public cloud environments, everything is based on configuration, right? How you configure that particular resource, because you don't actually have access to the underlying hardware. So CloudHealth looks at all of the configurations, like if the port is open on a particular instance, if the S3 bucket is unencrypted, or if it is publicly exposed. And we have all seen that in the news recently, right? Big financial institutions whose data have been leaked, and most of the time it is attributed to misconfiguration of the resources, right? It has nothing to do the cloud providers' infrastructure itself. So if you leave your S3 buckets publicly open, that's an invitation for someone to just come in and grab your data.
Right.
You can have a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And let's just look at this right sizing aspect, right? Let me just sort this. We have some prettier data. So over here, what CloudHealth does is it provides you right sizing recommendations. So resources that are underutilized. So I can see here there's a total score, there's a CPU score. We have 54, and I can click on this and look at the chart of what I have provisioned and how much am I using. So you can see here the max CPU is all the way over here. We have average usage of just around 38, minimum usage of at least 1%. So, but the customer, the user has over provisioned this particular instance. Similarly, we have data for other instances as well. And you can actually integrate CloudHealth with Wavefront and actually get these metrics as well. So if you're using Wavefront to monitor metrics within your environment, you can do that as well. And if I come here, you see, let me just sort by savings. And you'll see that on some instances, I can save almost up to $640, right? And the recommendation is to just terminate the instance, right? And that's because CloudHealth has detected that it's not being used. And it's like a zombie infra, right? It's just there. No one knows what it's doing. There has been no CPU activity, no network in and out, nothing in there. So that actually helps you save immediate costs, right? And in some cases, you'll see, hey, the instance type is 4x large, but you might just want to migrate to extra large. And that's like immediate savings of $360. Whereas right now I'm spending $600. Yeah. And you can take those actions from here, right? You can just stop the instance if you think, okay, before I just go and delete the instance and get some emails from developers, I'll probably stop. I'll let them know.
See screams. Yep.
Exactly.
That's what I used to do. We just pull the power plug, and if anybody,
right.
Let's see who complains. Yeah. Or you can run Lambda function. So I've seen organizations where they want to create a service now, or Jira ticket, and they want to do some other processes before an action is taken, right? So you can do that as well. You can run your custom Lambda function right from within the CloudHealth dashboard. And obviously, we can customize these actions and policies, and I'll cover that probably in another talk.
Okay.
And finally, let me just show you on the Azure side as well. I'll touch slightly on the security pillar. Like I said, CloudHealth looks at CIS benchmarks across AWS, Azure, and gives you recommendations. So here it says virtual machine SSH access, right? And I can open that. I can actually see which resources are affected by that here at the bottom in the table. And not just that, CloudHealth actually tells you what the problem is, right? The severity is level 1. You need to disable SSH. What is the rationale? Why CloudHealth is actually recommending you this? Mm-hmm. And how you can actually go and verify whether CloudHealth is telling you the truth or it's lying. So if you love using Azure Console, you can follow these steps. Or if you love using the CLI, that's fine as well. We have given you the commands, right? You can actually run these commands to go and look at this. And finally, it tells you remediation, use point-to-site VPN, site-to-site VPN, or leverage something like ExpressRoute, which kind of gives you a dedicated connection from your on-prem data center all the way to Azure's data center in this case. So that's basically the idea behind helping customers understand their security posture as well. So I think we touched upon various things, right? We touched upon financial management. We looked at how customers can look at their cost histories, the chart which we saw before, where you're looking at different service categories and how much you're spending for the last 13 months. And one cool thing over here is you can actually look at this cost by various groupings or categories. And we call that perspectives within CloudHealth. And the idea is just to help the finance persona look at the cost across. I want to look at cost across different business groups or cost centers, right? So I can simply click on cost center. And now you'll see I have different cost centers: production, engineering, finance, ops. And now I'm looking at costs based on those cost centers, right? It's no longer based on a service. So it quickly gives you insights into how or where you're actually spending more, and if you are going to exceed a particular amount of budget that you're not supposed to. So that's the power of the CloudHealth platform when it comes to financial management. And when it's operation, we have seen savings plan and how you can save with reservations. And finally, we saw the security pillar, where we have security recommendations that you can go and fix, where CloudHealth actually recommends you how to audit, and also how to fix those vulnerabilities.
Wow, this was a really cool tour. I mean, in just about 20 minutes, you've paid for CloudHealth many times over. So
yeah.
This was really, really great to see. We'd love to have you back. I know we're just about at time here for today. So really want to thank you, Shri, for jumping on and showing us all this really cool power of CloudHealth. If people want to go out, get a little bit more information, where can they go? What are some good resources?
Yeah, so you can obviously visit the cloudhealthtech.com website, where you'll find a tons of resources. You can also access Pathfinder. I don't know whether folks have heard of this. It's pretty cool, place where you can go. It's pathfinder.vmware.com, where we have click-throughs, walkthroughs, as well as you can get hands-on lab kind of experiences for tons of VMware products. So you can go there, you can follow a particular track. In case of CloudHealth, if you're just interested in financial management, we have paths there which guide you through how you can leverage these different features, look at some customer testimonials if you want to refer to those as well, and follow along across different pillars. Yeah, do check out Pathfinder as well.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah. A lot of good stuff out there at Pathfinder. There's also Cloud Live, right? This is your, CloudHealth's own conference here, right? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So we have, obviously definitely register for the Cloud Live event. We have this event we do yearly. It's a conference which is heavily focused towards managing your public cloud environments. Obviously, it's virtual again this year, and it's on May 19th and 20th, if I'm not wrong. So feel free to register for this virtual event.
Excellent. And you'll be there too, I assume.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for jumping on today too and taking a look at CloudHealth with us. Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter. That's VMware Cloud Management. Shri, you are at... I Shri.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. So myself at VMspot and Thomas Bryant, you are Mr. Kicks 1979.
I am.
So thanks again, everybody. And Shri, really, really appreciate your time today too. This was awesome. Can't wait to have you back. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. Bye-bye.